Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're brilliant today and you're having a really great day. So today we are looking at his current thoughts, intentions and likely actions. Obviously it's a pick a card reading. What I do want to say before I start is welcome to anyone new. Hello to everyone returning. It's great to have you here. I hope you're all doing brilliantly. This is a kind of weekly reading now. So if you're a regular to my channel, this is kind of like your weekly update. Just let me move the light a little. That's better. If you are you've just happened upon this channel, then this could be a weekly situation for you, or it could be just a general overview, okay? What I would say is consider, rather than just picking one group, assigning a question to each group. This will give you maximum outcome. So you can make it about different things, or you can make it about different aspects of the situation. You know, this is what I do when I watch a pick a card reading. I always assign different things to different groups if it intuitively feels right to me. So consider it. And if it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it, of course. It is intuitive, it is general, so bear that in mind with the reading. Not everything will resonate. If it doesn't, just let it go, take whatever does. Okay, so if you'd like a private reading with me, check the description box below. It's really straightforward, it's pretty good value, I'd like to think. In fact, I'd like to think it's very good value, and it is a quick turnaround. So check the description box below to find out all about that. So let's get on with today's reading. Hi group one, I've forgotten to say at the beginning, please subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell so that you'll be notified. Here we go. So here's current thoughts, intentions and likely actions. We've got the 8 of coins, the King of Swords, the Judgment and the 2 of Wands. Okay, the great news for you is that he is thinking more clearly at the minute. So it's possible that he's been a little bit confused or a little bit all over the place. Definitely. But the great news is that the corner has been turned on that, you know. The 8 of coins is saying that he is really working hard on himself and improving himself and or his life at this time, okay? So it could manifest in many different ways depending on your individual person and circumstances, but he is trying to work on himself. Because of this though, you may find that there's a bit of an absence of him. So you may feel like he's kind of not really around at the moment, or, you know, you feel a bit of a distance from him emotionally, vibrationally, or whatever. The thing is with the 8 of coins here, you've got 8 of coins, King of Swords, Judgment, and 2 of Wands. With the 8 of coins, there is this sense of kind of having to really get your nose to the grindstone, you know, and just get on with it. You know, there's a real sense of needing to just get on with the work, to focus on the work, to focus on sometimes a phrase that goes with this card is short-term pain for long-term gain. You know, it's like self-mastery, it's fine-tuning your experience and really kind of getting serious about breaking out of your limitations and really pushing yourself, learning the skills, doing the work to get beyond those limiting factors. And they're kind of internal limiting factors. So he's maybe been having some issues with himself in the circumstances. But the King of Swords is saying that he is kind of getting much clearer. This is a card that indicates a real clarity of mind. This is someone who's kind of taken charge of their life. On the flip side of it, the sort of, if you like, negative side of this is that the King of Swords obviously is kind of sometimes gets painted as like a little cold or cool. There's definitely a sense of like emotional, not necessarily detachment, but kind of prioritizing logic and what makes sense. So definitely if your circumstance requires him to be a little bit more loose emotionally and a little bit more tapped in spiritually, then you definitely are going to feel a little bit of an absence of that at the minute, because he's kind of like got his business head on. You know, he's looking at getting things sorted. However, if you're hoping for him to sort his situation out, then this is a kind of good indicator, because the King of Swords is someone who's very businesslike. He's very clear thinking. He's very logical. He's acting out of his own best interests, but not necessarily in a bad way, not at the expense of others. It's just that he's got his mind on what he needs to do, and he's been very clear and very logical about that. And it is about self-mastery. It is about him moving on and getting clarity. I do think that his kind of thoughts and intentions are to get the situation sorted, whatever your situation is. He wants to get it sorted. What are his likely actions? Well, the end two cards are kind of more about his actions. We've got the Judgment, we've got the Two of Wands. The Judgment is this sort of sense of aha, a revelation, a realization. Sorry about that, I just knocked the camera. A bit of a breakthrough. You know, it's where logic and intuition meet. So it may be that he's had a lot of intuition around you and around the situation, and he's had a lot of emotion around the situation, but perhaps has lacked that clarity of thought or that ability to kind of formulate a plan. But this suggests that he is going to be able to do that. So it's like all of this melds together, and he's able to kind of start thinking about facing up to something and seeing an opportunity to change the situation, to have a bit of a breakthrough, to have a bit of an aha and move forwards. So it's going to be more like a realization comes to him this week or around this time. And then what he can do is Two of Wands. He can start to create and formulate a plan. Is he likely to take action at the minute? The Two of Wands at the end suggests no, but he's planning it. Because the Two of Wands is saying you're not quite ready for action, but it's a great time to feel that inspiration and to start formulating a plan. And I do think he's going to have a bit of a breakthrough, and he's going to start formulating a plan towards the end of this week or of this period of time. You know, around this time, he's going to start thinking, right, what do I really want? Where am I going? The Two of Wands is all about seeing there's a big world out there. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And how am I going to execute that? So loads of love, number ones. I hope that makes sense. I will see you on a private reading or on the soulmate pick a card in the next couple of days. Loads of love and have a great day. Hi group 2. I forgot to say at the beginning, will you please subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified of the readings. Okay, so what have you got? His current thoughts, intentions and likely actions. 7 of Swords, 4 of Wands, 3 of Wands, the World. Okay. So, right, this is really good news, okay? This is really good news. All of these cards are so positive. I do think he intends to take some positive action towards you, because we got the final card is the World, okay? So the World is taking things to the next level, happiness, joy. It's like, it doesn't necessarily mean happiness and joy, but it's like it's going to that next level in a really positive way. It's the end of a cycle. It's the ability to have, you know, it's like you've learned the lesson or you've completed that cycle, and you can just move on to something even bigger, even better. So it's the best card in the deck, because yes, it does mean it's happiness and joy, because you've got there. You've made it. It's a positive, celebratory, next level, the world's your oyster kind of energy. It can be quite literal as well. It can mean taking that trip, taking that journey. It's like it's freedom, it's liberation, it's moving to the next level. Okay, so his likely action is around this time that he is building himself up to this, or he's moving into this phase. Remember, it is a major arcana, so it's kind of weird to say with a major arcana, oh, well, it's going to happen, you know, next Tuesday. Because the major arcana are the major themes of our life. The minor arcana are more like the day-to-day. So what I would say is that he's moving into this phase. So you may see him starting to kind of take action towards you and move towards you in the next week or so, but it could take 2 or 3 weeks for it to fully manifest. It could take 2 or 3 months to fully manifest. It depends on your circumstance, but the point is he's moving to the next level regarding you. So how is he getting there? And that's where his action is going to be moving to the next level for the majority of you. Okay, so where is this starting from? 7 of Swords. There's been a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety and fear. I'm not going to lie, it's still there, because his thoughts are still fearful. 7 of Swords, he's still got a barrier up, he's afraid. There's something about the situation that still scares him. There's something about the situation that still feels like he has to tread carefully or be careful. There's caution here around him. There may also be a little bit of game playing going on here almost. But it's more out of a sense of needing to protect himself. You may also need to be kind of use your head in this situation in order to manifest the right situation. This does not mean play games or be manipulative. You know, he may at times appear to be playing a little game. Try not to get involved. But you do need to be clear-minded and clear thinking. Sometimes the Seven of Swords is kind of pegged as this kind of negative energy, and it can be a little. It can be a card of deception, etc. But it's more that it's about using your mind to kind of gain. And sometimes it's not a negative thing. And these other cards are so positive. This is telling me that you need to be kind of clever and think that carefully about what you're doing. And that maybe you might have to take a less than obvious route or route to get where you want to be. Okay, so it's about using your head but not being manipulative. Okay, so it's that fine line. But, you know, his intentions, even though he's scared, are Four of Wands and Three of Wands. The Four of Wands is prosperity. So his intentions are, the Four of Wands is the marriage card as well for some people. It's definitely a card of kind of commitment, prosperity. It's enjoying the fruits of the Three of Wands labor. So these two cards go together in the middle, this Three of Wands and Four of Wands. He wants to create something with you. He wants to create a new situation. His intention is to create a new situation. The opportunity may not have presented itself just yet. This is the world, I think. Because the Three of Wands can be like waiting for your ship to come in. It's like the opportunity hasn't quite arrived quite yet, but it's not far away. But this is what we were saying before. It's like it's going to come during this world period. But he does feel that he could see himself in this kind of prosperity situation with you, where he could create a life with you that he could then enjoy, you know, and that would be kind of settled in a regard. You know, it would give him a sense of security. It would feel prosperous. It would feel right to him. So even though there's something about your relationship or your situation that is frightening to him, it may be something he's not used to, it may be something different, even though it's a little scary, he does want to create that situation. He does want to move towards it. There is potential for prosperity, there is potential for stability, and there is potential for this to go to the next level, whatever that is, and potentially to be let's say a proper relationship. There is potential here. Obviously, this is a general reading, so, you know, listen to your own intuition as well. But you've been drawn to this group for a reason. So I do think for the majority of you, there is a real good chance of this manifesting into something that you would want. Okay? Loads of love, group 2. I hope you have an amazing day. Please like and subscribe, as I said before. And I will see you on the soulmate reading in a couple of days. Or on social media in the meantime. Or on a private reading. See you then. Hi, number 3s. I forgot to say at the beginning, please like and subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified of the uploads. Okay, so here's current thoughts, intentions and likely actions. We've got the Moon, the Page of Swords, the Two of Cups and the Knight of Cups. This has a kind of similarity to group 4 in terms of, group 2 in terms of its feel. So if you chose both of those, then this may feel like an extension. Okay, so there's definitely something that is frightening or scary or intimidating about this situation. He's having to face his fears, isn't he? He's having a difficult time. He's having to face up to some things with the Moon. It's not bad. It's just that he's having to face things. You know, it's tricky for him. Excuse me, I was just having a drink. So it's kind of intimidating for him. He's having to see a whole different side of himself. He's having to accept things about the situation and himself. I think he's feeling quite vulnerable because he's coming through as the Page. He's coming through as the Page of Swords here. So he's feeling kind of like, when he looks at you in the situation, he feels like it's a good idea and he's excited about the idea and he feels drawn to you. and it feels good to him, but it's kind of overwhelming. And the Page of Swords in this deck, for me, intuitively, always means it's a good idea. So he sees you as a good idea and like something he wants, but he's also intimidated by it. I think he's intimidated by the strength of the connection with the Two of Cups. It feels like on a soul level, like you're really connected. And this kind of feels a little intimidating to him because he feels a little vulnerable with it, I think. With this Page of Swords, it's definitely a feeling of being kind of... The Page of Swords is more... The pages are like an early investigation energy. So he's still kind of thinking about things and having ideas. But this powerful connection is kind of intimidating and is kind of quite overwhelming. They're also saying the moon suggests that perhaps you don't see the full extent of how connected he feels to you. You know, but it is interesting because his likely actions, we've got the Knight of Cups. This is someone coming towards you like that quintessential romantic hero. This is someone coming towards you wanting to offer you something emotionally, wanting to offer, you know, that situation, that next level, whatever that is for you. I'm just trying to keep it as general as I can because obviously different people are in different circumstances and at different stages in their relationship. But I do see him wanting to come towards you in that way. Bear in mind with the Page of Swords and the Knight of Cups though, because of the different aspects in these cards, I do feel there's a vulnerability around him. You know, he's not as stable as he might have you believe. Things are a little bit hazy as well. Watch out, I don't mean watch out like, oh, be scared. I just mean be mindful of the fact that everything might not be quite as it seems. Not necessarily in a bad way, but in a good way as well. I think there's more of a connection. He is more aware of the connection than you realise. I think he feels the depth of it more than you realise. But also I think there could be a bit more vulnerability going on with him, again, than you realise. So there's quite a lot going on here. But ultimately, his likely actions are to take some sort of move towards you. But like I said with the Knight of Cups, the issue with this is that regarding thoughts and intentions, the Knight of Cups is often a very emotional person, you know, and it could be a bit of vulnerability, a little bit of emotional instability here. So there could be a little bit of like naivety or immaturity going on as well, particularly if he does tap into this moon energy and he feels kind of like afraid or intimidated by the connection. You could find a little bit of difficult behaviour from him, but the strong connection is there and he does intend, it looks like, to come towards you with some sort of emotional offer around the end of this week or around this time, this coming next couple of weeks. Okay, so loads of love to you number threes. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the reading. I'll see you on the soulmate reading in a couple of days or on a private reading in the meantime. I was just trying to catch a bit of fluff that's flying around even. Hi group 4, I forgot to say at the beginning, please like the video if you enjoy it and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified of the next reading. Okay, so here's current thoughts, intentions and likely actions. We've got the Fountain, the Hierophant, the Five of Cups, the Four of Cups. They're saying the other way round, fine. Four of Cups, that makes much more sense. Four of Cups, Five of Cups, Hierophant, Fountain. That makes loads more sense. Okay, so here's current thoughts, intentions and likely actions. You know, in the long term, things are going to balance out. I know it feels at the minute, perhaps you're being ghosted, perhaps there's no communication, perhaps you feel an emotional distance between you and him, and perhaps it feels like things will never improve, but what they're saying is they absolutely will. I think that's why they started with them the wrong way round. They're saying yes, because it feels to you like it was all okay, and then it's almost like, well, since you've had this strong connection to him, it just feels like you can't get anywhere. But it's not true. Things are going to turn around. Things are going to improve. The problem you've got is that his current thoughts are very negative, or he's got more of a tendency towards the negative. The Four of Cups is about him feeling like he needs something great in his life, but he has something great in his life. He has you, or your intention towards him, or your desire towards him, and This has been offered to him by the universe as a gift, but he can't see it. Why? 4 of Cups and 5 of Cups together. It's so strong. He's still stuck in the past. He's still expecting to see something bad, or he's still living in the, the old wound, or he's still afraid that the, history will repeat itself. The reality is he's crying over spilled milk. He doesn't see the opportunity. You see, in the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Cups, both of these picture an opportunity. In the 4 of Cups, it's the Ace of Cups, the single cup. In the 5 of Cups, it's the 2 of Cups. He's got offers. He's got this opportunity with you to improve the situation, but he can't see it. So at the minute, his thoughts and intentions are, poor me, it's not going as I would want. I can't get what I want. Feeling hurt, still licking his wounds over an old situation. I'm not going to lie, they are very likely to be his current thoughts and intentions on some level. Some of your guys are going to be really dramatic, so they're going to be full on, in pain. Some of them, it's just subtle undercurrent, and so they kind of seem a little detached, or they seem a little, like they can't fully open themselves up to the situation in full, if that makes sense. But you know what? The intentions and actions, well, it's interesting because the Fountain is coming forward here more as like a universal intervention. He is learning, the Hierophant. This is about teaching and learning. He is learning. He's still stuck on his track. He's not likely to make any wild moves at the minute, but he is moving in the right direction. The Hierophant is about teaching, and it's about being taught, and it's about being that learner, and he is learning from this. I do think he will move out of this. He's learned his lesson from the past. It's just taking time. He's still lamenting the past. He does need to make that change, but I think he will. The Fountain in the future here is that his likely actions are going to move towards balance. So at the minute here, there's a lot of kind of like lamenting or sadness or detachment and fear. It's going to present differently in different people, but he is moving towards equilibrium. The Fountain card is the card after the World in the Fountain Tarot deck. And it's kind of like beingness, stillness, isness, infinity, kind of tranquility. So he is moving in the right direction. He's learned his lesson. It's just taking some time. He needs to follow his inner light. He may need to kind of have a little bit of time to himself to kind of work it out. But he is on the right track. That's the thing. He's not likely, like I say, to make any wild changes at the minute. So if you're hoping that he's going to suddenly have some sort of epiphany, I don't think so. It's more going to be like a slow and steady situation. But he is moving there, okay? Don't worry, girl. He is getting there. He is getting there. But it's taking time, and it's frustrating, I know. But he is going in the right direction. And I think when he gets there, these two cards together do indicate like an aha moment. They do indicate like an epiphany, because the Fountain is a real card of like balance and equilibrium and like being in the now, and that like realization and like a higher level of understanding. Paired with the Hierophant, I think his likely actions in the future, it will be worth waiting for, because he will learn that he doesn't want to do this like low vibe stuff anymore, and he'll move away from it. And he'll gain a greater understanding and a greater access to this like higher level of thinking and action. And he'll probably be a lot more centered and listening to his own inner light. So if he is detaching himself a little, don't worry too much, because I think it's heading in the right direction ultimately. So loads of love. I hope this makes sense. I will see you on the soulmate reading in a couple of days, or on a private reading in the meantime. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will speak to you really, really soon. See you soon, guys.